Weekly talk number 6. I'm a little bit late this week, but I didn't want to wait and skip one and miss what I wanted to talk about. End up working really well because today I finished class and I was talking to a student that I have that I really care and I really like. And he took a long break from Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And this is a guy that when he started, he was not overweight, but say he was above, an ideal weight. He trained he started, like he said, just to get the blood flowing, to get a different activity, to find maybe a martial arts that will work well with his goals of losing weight, being more active, being more healthy, and etc. He ended up also falling in love for Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. He became a very active and very consistent with his attendance, but he had to stop due to a job. He switched jobs, started working someplace else. Hours changed, and of course, we understand. Now, he, like I said, he took a long break and he was apprehensive. He came back today and he was apprehensive about, coming back, and he felt really out of shape right now. Of course, if you're not doing anything, that's normal. Yeah, and I think we have to, just accept it. And I felt a really strong apprehension from his part, and that got me thinking. And I'm like, let me record this talk right now, and then follow up with the second thing that I want to talk about. And actually, it might tie it up one to the other. It might link one to the other. So I told him, first of all, where we are, and then if you train someplace else, I really recommend you to see if your school, your coach, give you a chance to, or will give somebody a chance to do what I'm telling him to do. So what I told him to do is, first, try to come 2 to 3 times a week and take it as it is right now. You're not going to be the beast on the mat that you used to be, and that's fine. Who cares? Second, take your time and respect your progression. And this is something that I learned a lot from a student that I have, who's a master's in biomechanics and amazing guy, very knowledgeable. And he always talk about progression when it comes to exercising, introducing a new regimen of exercising in your, routine. Just in anything we start, any program, it could be CrossFit, it could be jiu-jitsu, it could be anything. If you're starting from scratch, and sometimes even if you're coming from a different background, respect your progression. And it could be as far as like your skills, it could be as far as like your physical abilities, your mental state. So I told him, like, man, come 2 to 3 times a week. Do as much as you can of the warm up. Do as much as you can of the techniques, and sort of pick and choose who you're training with. We just, and he knows it. I trust this guy like 100%. And if this is for you that I don't know, my suggestion is don't be a sandbagger, meaning you have already a good experience. All of a sudden, you choose to go light with somebody else. You're feeling a little bit better. You tell the guy, like, or the girl, oh, let's go easy. And then you go berserk on the person. You're going to lose a friend. So I think it's very important to have the agreement pre-training, pre-rolling, like, okay, listen, I'm coming back. I really need to catch my breath. Do you mind go a little bit easier? And if you tell me, if you feel like maybe that's a good thing, because sometimes we don't have that self-perception as far as like how hard are we going. So maybe you tell your friend, like, listen, if I start going too fast, just let me know. And maybe in the middle, like you could, in the middle of the sparring session, the training, the rolling, the grappling, the wrestling, whatever you're doing, you could tell, like, hey, we can go a little faster, we can go a little harder, and I'm feeling good. So at least like you give a heads up to the person that you're training with. I feel like it's very, very important to be that fair, to be that honest. And so I kept telling him, come 2 to 3 times a week, do as much as you can on the 3 parts of the class, which is the warm-up technique, and the live part of the training, which is the grappling, the wrestling. And maybe one thing you could do is maybe help the beginners, because you're going to be moving anyway. So give yourself, and that's another thing, give yourself maybe 2, 3 months. And I know it's a long time to feel readapted, because I really truly believe that it's harder to restart in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, especially MMA or grappling. I think in anything it's hard to start again than the first time. The challenges are different. When the first time you come in, you're unsure about the place, the atmosphere, what kind of gym are you getting into, what kind of people you're going to be training with. And that's one type of apprehension you have. And then a lot of people have that same thing. And I heard this like 1,000 times in my life. 1,000 is maybe I'm being conservative. Oh, I need to get in shape first before I start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, before I start something else. Wrong. What you have to do is give yourself time to progress. Very common thing that happens. People start worrying about what the other people might think. And like Alfred Adler used to say, all of our issues are interpersonal issues. And a lot of times, because we create those issues, who cares if the mad beast will look at you as being a soft or guy that doesn't want to go hard? Who freaking cares? Most important that you achieve your goal. What's your goal right now? To get back to what you love doing it. And that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in his case. Get back to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Don't listen to the other people if anybody says anything. But if you train in a good place, people will be understanding, and have that in mind. I really like this. I was watching this podcast actually on live, and they have on iTunes and have everywhere, but also on YouTube. And the host mentioned that their passage which says, "The sun doesn't measure its light by the shadow that it casts." So meaning, like, you don't have to look for outside validation, in my opinion, for what you're doing. Go train for yourself. And I guarantee to you, if you go through that phase, the hard phase of readapting, you will stick to the program. You will keep going and working on yourself mostly. That's the most important thing. You're going to start working more on yourself. And that's what it's all about, is to work on yourself, on your life, on your improvement, in improving your life, improving your health, your lifestyle, everything. So I don't really care about if somebody. So let me go back here. In my case, I haven't been rolling super hard since March of last year, and that's for some private reasons. But I have been training, but not training as hard. And I'm 48 years old almost, still doing my job, still teaching as much as I can, still training and being active as much as I can. And now I'm just getting back to training harder. So I could have this mindset like, oh, what my students will think if I'm not really actively rolling as much, or what other people will say, or other visitors will say. I've been doing martial arts for over 30 years, and I want to keep doing martial arts for 30 years. So right now, I just had to take my foot out of the gas pedal, slow down a little bit, save some fuel so I can go a little longer. That's what I'm doing. Now I'm going to step back on the gas. I have my goals that I want to achieve this year. And in my case, it requires more training. That's okay. So see, even like your teacher, your professor might be taking easy some time and respecting his or her own progression. So respect that. Have patience with yourself. Give yourself time. Forgive yourself for having stopped, because that's another thing I see a lot. People come in and, oh man, I should have stopped. I should have continued doing this. It is what it is. Just it's past. What is important is today, looking at your future, towards your future. And if you want to get your black belt, and if you're purple belt and you stopped for whatever reasons, but that's your goal to get your black belt, give yourself time. That's your own goal. That's your own personal goal. Whether you want to be a competitor, a hobbyist, a teacher, or you just want to be healthy, respect your goal. The second thing I want to talk very quick, that's easy, right? Always treat people the way they want to be treated, right? Famous quote. It's biblical also, in other words. What I want to tell, and I don't know who said that. I might have been, I'm not going to say that I'm stealing the quote, but I'm not quoting myself, because I believe I heard this someplace else, but I cannot pinpoint. So if you heard this from somebody else, awesome. It's just two people thinking alike. Very important. Be the teammate that you would like to train with. Be the teammate that you would like to train with. And this applies because that's like something that we do in our lives, right? We want to be the citizens that we want the other people to be. We want to be the father that you want your son to be one day. You want to be the mother. You want to be a mother that your daughter see you and use as an inspiration and improves, right? So we always want to set the example. So in my opinion, I always want to be the teammate that everybody wants to roll with. Even being 240 pounds, 6'3" tall, heavier, people say that I have a good pressure. But I still have people that look at me like, hey, Luigi, can I go with you? And I like that. Not in a challenging way, because I never took like, oh, this person is challenging me. What I feel is like, oh, that's pretty cool that somebody likes to roll with me. Some people look at me, I'm like, oh no, Luigi, because it's strong and you're heavy. But I try to play fair. I try to not drop all my weight on people that cannot handle that because they're smaller, they're lighter, and etc. So regardless the environment, regardless how you're setting up your training, be the teammate that you would like others to be. Be the teammate that you would like to roll with. I said that at my last seminar at CT Krav Maga and MMA in North Brantford. I'm going to say that this weekend in Indiana when I'll go teach at Indiana Martial Arts and Fitness with my friend Terry Gruel and Carrie Gruel. Be the teammate that you would like to train with. And I'll leave you with these words. And at least me, I don't want to be remembered as that guy that nobody want to roll with because it was careless, because it was always not smelling good, or because somebody that had the gi or the uniform dirty, or the gloves that would stink like cheetahs, like those, like those things. I always compare with dirty socks or the snacks cheetahs. So don't be that person. Be the teammate that you would like to train with. Have a great week. I'm going to Indiana, recording a podcast. Please subscribe to my channel, share. If there's anything you guys would like to talk to, any comments, I'm becoming a YouTuber. And I'm just doing this because I have fun. I just love it. I love doing this kind of things. So, or go to the Fight Team Podcast, subscribe, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, the Fight Team Podcast. Subscribe and share, subscribe and share. Hit the button, hit the notifications button. It will help me out, spread more of my mindset and others' mindset, most of all. Not about me, but about bringing from outside. Have a great weekend.